Hello YouTube. This is the finished look of this video. If you are looking for someone to talk your ear off while they do their makeup, literally talk about any and everything from post-grad life, jobs, career goals, long-term aspirations, social media detoxes, literally every and anything, you found the place because I could chat. And I did. Hey, hello YouTube. How's it going? It's been a very long time since I've recorded a get ready with me. Like one, just the video, like a full-length video, but then also just in general. And I also just haven't done my makeup in months, like since my trip in February, which I guess I'll talk about in this video. But I guess I just wanted to talk about life, how have things been going, and wherever this takes me, I guess the title and whatever this video is will change. Spring, which I feel like I'm just super happy that it's spring because wintertime is actually a silent killer. Like I don't think enough people talk about how terrible. Actually, I feel like a lot of people talk about it like every season or every year. People are like, winter is the worst season ever. But I feel like we still don't pay enough attention. Like it needs to be studied, maybe abolished even. I don't know what we can do about getting rid of winter, but that might have to be the move. This winter, I feel like, was also in the DMV, was real winter, and at the same time, too much winter for a place that's like not that far up north. Like I remember in early January, we got a ton of snow. It was like New Year's, and then like a couple days later, the city got like 10 inches of snow, which is crazy. There was that, and then there was just like a lot of snow, a lot of ice, a lot of it just being like feel like you wake up in the morning going to work and it's like, why does the feel like -1? I cannot do this. Like those days were terrible, but it's warming up basically. Like it's been in the 50s, 60s. Like even today, it says it was like earlier this morning I went out and on a little bike ride and it said it was 40 something. And I mean, I was in direct sun for a good bit of amount of time, but it was very nice and warm. And just that nice spring weather. Things are looking up. Like I think things always start to look up once March comes around because the days are longer, the weather gets better. Because I feel like every year, I was talking about this to my boyfriend, just kidding, to my boyfriend. I was like, I feel like every year, January and February, by the time it gets to December, like sure, part of the reason is like it's been 12 months. So January and February typically make no noise. When I get to December, like December 2025, I'm be like, what even happened in January and February? Like this February, I went on vacation. So it was like, I'll probably remember that. But other than that, it's like I didn't really do much. It was kind of just like back and forth to work. And I feel like that's also like what makes the winter a little more depressing because it's like you're not really going out as much, hanging out, even if it's just like by yourself. It really is like I go outside for only necessary activities. It's like going to the grocery store, going to get food, going to work, coming back. It's like we aren't taking no detours. We aren't taking in scenery. It just gets bleak because it's like I'm in my room all day, all the time, or I'm at work. Where's the in-between? Where's the fun? So in February, I went on my first trip to Europe. The trip was really good. Traveling wise, so we flew with Plate Airlines, which is like more of a budget airlines, kind of like a Spirit Airlines equivalent to get to Europe. And the price of the tickets were dirt cheap. Like in total for two tickets, it was like $850, which is insane. Because even now I was like looking to see like how much tickets to Europe for like the summer are. And it's like $800 for one person, even on Play Airlines. I was like worried about like how strict they would be about like, okay, the size of the carry-on. Like you just never know. I'm not trying to have nobody charge me an extra what $60. I remember reading on the website, like I think it was like $60 online to check a bag, and then like it goes up in person. They charge for everything because that's how they make things cheap. It's because nothing is included, so anything that you do want is gonna be expensive. So but all the flights were good. I would say it was just hard like trying to sleep because I don't know, I feel like I'm not really a person who could sleep sitting up. So even when I would try to sleep, even when I took like drowsy allergy medicine, it didn't really do much. And then being in Paris was very chill. I didn't realize how old Paris is. Like I never really realized, especially because we went to London a couple days later. And it was like, oh, London feels like basically like New York and like a big city. Obviously it had like older elements, but it had a lot of new stuff versus Paris was like, this is very old world. And I liked it. And the trip was fun. We also went to Disney, which was my first time in Disney. I've never even been to like Disney in the States. So that was fun. It was cold. And then also I got sick. I literally caught a cold there. I don't know when I caught that, but caught a cold. And so that kind of like put a damper on the trip. Like because it's like you're on vacation, I just kept on going. Like, and then I think also because it was like I was jet lagged between literally being like 8 hours ahead from here. So I have to keep on going. And it's like I'm still gonna enjoy my trip. So by the time I got back, it was just like, oh thank God. Like I feel like I've never wanted to be back from a trip so much because it was just like I need to rest. But then being there, it was like I'm not gonna rest when I'm literally on vacation. Like I have to keep going. So like I got sick when we went to Disney. Like that day was like, oh, I'm starting to feel bad. And then the next day we went to London. We took the Eurostar to London. I was like, yeah, I really don't feel well. So basically most of the time when we were in London, I didn't feel that great. But you know, you gotta keep going, man. Like I love when I plan a trip and like everything went hitch, like all my research was worth it. And I don't know, I just love traveling. Okay, let's talk about life. I guess post-grad, right? Like I'm literally coming up on a year since college. And I think that's part of what makes things seem so crazy. How is a year passed already? Like I know time always feels like that, but it just feels like, whoa, I haven't sat in the classroom in a year. I haven't had to take a test in a year. I haven't had to do anything school related in a year when that was my entire life for my whole life. Like it's just crazy. And so I just think it just had me like thinking like, where am I going? What am I doing in my life? Yeah, I just feel like for the past couple months, I feel like I've just kind of been in that like emo quarter of life crisis, just trying to figure out what I'm doing. What am I here for? Who am I? Where am I going? Like, what am I doing? And I feel like I've kind of come to the conclusion where it's like, I'm just here to exist, I think, and just keep going day by day, which I think I'm okay with. I think part of the little like funk was just like, okay, I think people like literally it's just like a typical, it's like canon, you know, everybody post-grad just like, you're so used to having all these little milestones along the way. It's like, okay, I finished this test. I finished this class. I moved on from this class. Now I'm taking this class. Okay, now I'm done with this year of college. I'm done with this year of high school. Okay. So like, I was just so used to all the different checkpoints. And then it's like, okay, what am I doing now? And like the job I work now, it's nice, it's cool, but it's not what I want to do forever. Which I think is like nice because I feel like when I was younger, I kind of thought I would want to do this work. And then I kind of figured out I didn't want to do that work. But then, you know, I feel like sometimes when you get older, it's like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to be this. So let me give it a try. Like now I know this is not what I want to do for my career. My point is, I just feel like I just felt this insane pressure to feel like I had my entire life together at 22 and like I know exactly what I'm gonna do this year and I know exactly what I'm gonna do next year and I know exactly like basically just knowing everything and just feeling super planned. I think part of it's also like the people I'm around, like the school I went to, like going to Howard, literally people always say that everybody's the top of everything at Howard. Everyone's doing good things. And so then you like look at yourself, especially if you're not necessarily like super, maybe you're not going down the path of wanting to do corporate, you just feel like, okay, because like even when you go and work in corporate, like you go work consulting or working in investment banking, it's like, okay, you're an analyst for 2 years. And then after you're analyst, you go and you either go to your MBA or you just move up or you go to a different company, you work in private equity, you do venture, whatever. Like that's kind of the path, especially for like a finance major a lot. But then it's like, okay, I don't want to do that. Not going down the path that I'm supposed to go down. It just made me feel really weird and like a failure, I guess. That just threw me off my rocker, especially with it being wintertime. I think also I'm just like trying to learn to be more content with my life and that not everything needs to be like 100% perfect and like I don't need to know every single thing. Like right now I kind of have a plan of like what I want to do in the next couple years. Like I want to go back to school. I like making content online, so I feel like that's fun. So I feel like I have an idea in that way, but like long-term career of like, oh, what I want to do forever, I don't know, because I feel like also I've kind of come to realize I don't think I really care about like a career as much as I thought I did. Maybe it's because like I studied, like once again, I studied finance in college and that's a very traditional path. You work as some type of analyst, then you go into the associate or you do some type of like rotational program. Like it's a very set path that a lot of people take. And then I didn't take that path. I was like always kind of good at school and like that's just the path you go on. Like you kind of want that career success. And I feel like that's kind of associated with that. Like, oh yeah, I want to be a CEO of some company or something. But I just kind of realized I don't think I really want that. Like for me, I think career is more of a means to an end rather than like a personal achievement I want. Like if I made $1 million working at McDonald's as like a server, I think I would be just as a content as being like making $1 million as a CEO because I don't really care about I don't know, like just like the prestige of it. Like I don't really think I care about that type of stuff because like even just being in those environments, you kind of just know like corporate's imaginary, like everything's just dumb politics. And at least for me, like I'm not saying if anybody cares about that, like that's wrong or they shouldn't. It's not meaningless. I just don't think as I'm thinking more about my values as like a young person, I just don't think it's something I value as much as I thought I did. I think also just being high achieving in school, like getting good grades, all those things, it's like, okay, that kind of leads into being high achieving in a career. And I was about to say I don't plan to be in whatever I work in. I don't plan to achieve things, but I just don't think I care about that as much as I thought I did. Versus like, I think I just mostly care about the money. Like that age-old question of like, what would you do if you didn't have to work or stuff like that. I don't really know what I would do, but I know for sure I probably wouldn't be working in corporate if I didn't have to work. I just kind of view it as more of a means to end to do more of like things I like. Buy Legos, travel, spend time with family and friends, stuff like that. Right now I'm kind of just trying to maximize like, okay, a career that will give me as much money as possible, but then at the same time, and it's not even that as possible, because it's like I've just been thinking about, okay, how much money do I really want to make to afford the life I want to live? Like right now, obviously I'm single as in like not a caregiver of anybody. Like that income for taking care of others other than myself is different than the income I would need now being a single person. So I don't know, I've just been thinking about that as well. Like how much money do I need? Like how much money do I feasibly need to make to live a life I want to live of comfort? So I think that's where I'm at right now. Just trying to figure out where I'm at, what I'm doing, who I want to be, what do I value the most, and what just aligns with that. And like just letting everything else fall to the wayside. Like if I don't care about that, I don't know why do. That's another thing. Like when I was in college or high school, it was like, okay, this is gonna look good on my resume, so let me do that. But like now, if I don't want to do something, I don't want to do it. And I feel like part of like, okay, this is gonna look good was kind of just part of the following the correct path of like, okay, I gotta do this to do that, and I gotta do that to do this, and I need to do this because that's what I'm supposed to do. Versus like now it's just like, if I don't want to do that, why am I doing this? I just want to focus on things that matter to me, people that matter to me. And yeah, I think that's it on the topic, because I don't know, I'm still figuring this out right now. The number of journal entries about this, the number of questions I've asked ChatGPT, the number of podcasts, it's still a work in progress at this point. Moving on to, I guess, kind of like what's coming. Where I live now, I should be moving in a couple months. Right now it's March. This lease should be up in 4 months, which is crazy to say 4 months because it feels like I'm not even like, I just moved in here. But clearly I didn't. Definitely not going to be renewing here for a multitude of reasons. Moving always sucks. Like, it's fun because it's like, okay, I'm moving into a new space. Oh my gosh, new fun. Like, oh my gosh, like all the potential for memories and experiences and all those things. But then it's just like moving is so expensive. It's so annoying. And that's something I just need to start saving for it now. I decided to move and be out of my roommate era. Like, I've lived with roommates for the past 4 years, and I think I'm ready to be graduated out of that lifestyle. I would say overall, all the roommates I've had, for the most part, I've had a lot of roommates. I would say all the roommates I've had have been overwhelmingly good experiences. I just think living with roommates is it's just an experience. I think part of it's like you're not really living like how you live with a family. Like, okay, whether it's your parents or you have kids or whatever, or you're living with a sibling, it's like you guys are living a life, or even with a partner, it's like you guys are living a life together. Versus with like roommates, everyone's not on the same page. Everyone's just kind of living their independent lives together in one space, but that doesn't really work because like usually a household's best ran when everyone's working in a cohesive unit. So I think that's what causes a lot of issues. And I think also just lifestyle tips for roommates. I've seen so many issues with people like, oh yeah, this person's not clean. And I think part of it's like, okay, you're trying to find a roommate. It's like, oh, are you clean? Yeah, I'm clean. But you got to figure out, what does someone mean by clean? Like, do you mean you're cleaning obsessively every day? Like you have like a mental disorder where it's like you're obsessed with cleaning? Or do you clean once every 2 months? Or do you clean at average? And like even average is like everyone's different because everyone grew up differently. And I think that's where a lot of the miscommunications come from. Which I think also there's just like so many unsaid assumptions with roommates. So then when people come into circumstances, like there's a lot of issues because it's like you just kind of assume that people operate a certain way because like I said, that's how you operated, that's how your family operated. They literally raised you to operate that way in a household, and then you come in with new people and it's like, no, we don't operate that way. So I think that's part of the biggest issues with roommates. I don't know, I just think roommates are hard. That's all I gotta say. Basically being off of social media for a good amount of time. So basically back in like October, I kind of just randomly got the urge one day to be like, what if I deleted my social media? And that's not necessarily something I haven't done before. I've definitely deleted like my Instagram, like deactivated it. Like I'm no stranger to the deactivate button on Instagram. I don't know. I feel like it kind of just came to me. I feel like this time was kind of different because I feel like before it was kind of like, okay, something happened, I'm mad at somebody or like whatever. I just don't want to be on Instagram right now. I don't want to see nobody's face. I probably could have just deleted them or blocked them, but I didn't. This time is different because it was just like a random thought. It was just like, what if I'm not on Instagram? Also, that included TikTok and Twitter, basically anything social. I do still use Reddit and YouTube, obviously. I don't really consider those to be social because I don't really have a lot of people. And Twitter, I also didn't really have anybody in my real life on my Twitter. I had like a couple of friends, and those are like friends from high school who I don't really think they use Twitter. And I didn't really post. It was mostly like just reading posts. That was like the first time I've ever taken a break from Twitter or TikTok. I feel like it was one of the best things I low-key did last year, but I just didn't realize how much of my thoughts were occupied by things that weren't me, like things that did not involve me. Like kind of like how I said earlier, I'm only trying to focus on things that I care about and things that involve me, and everything else needs to fall to the wayside. It was just like before, when I was on Twitter and TikTok, there was so much in my head where this does not need to be in my head. Like, why am I worried about people's arguments on Twitter about, oh, who needs to pay for the first date? Like, I've been in a relationship for 3 years. Like, who cares? Or just dumb stuff, like literally dumb stuff. And like, I just didn't realize how much of it subconsciously just in my head and just taking up space. It just feels nice. Like, the silence feels nice to not be on Twitter all the time, always knowing, oh my gosh, like the second someone dies, knowing, or oh my gosh, there's a mass casualty event because, you know, we live in America. I don't know the second it happens and I'm following all the updates. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, I feel like you need to balance like being informed, just like protecting yourself from like the bigger world, because like ignorance is truly bliss. So I deleted it or deactivated all those accounts in October. My experience being off Twitter, that's how it felt. Like, just not seeing all these random think pieces, and just also like, you just really like, you know how people are like, yeah, this isn't real, this is the internet, this is a very chronically online thought. And I feel like, especially being off it now, it's just like, I really do see it, because it's like some of the stuff people would be arguing about, it's just like no one in the real world talks about this stuff. Like, this is really all imaginary internet problem. I'm so glad like I'm not involved, because it just weighs on you. Like, even if you don't think it's real, like, or it's not bothering you for real, or at least that's what you think, it just weighs on you. Ever since then, I decided I've been logged back into some of those accounts. Like Twitter, I don't use Twitter anymore. Like, I log in every once in a while if I want to see something specific, but it's not something I use ever. Like, I don't have the app on my phone. Instagram, okay, so how I felt when I deleted Instagram. Instagram felt nice because I think part of it was like, why am I following all these people from high school, from middle school, from elementary school, people I haven't talked to in like a decade? And it's like, yeah, sure, every once in a while we interact with these stuff, but it just felt weird to have all this dead weight of people who I no longer talk to, but I'm just carrying with me. Like, they're watching, okay, you went on vacation, oh, you got a boyfriend. Or even me, it's like, why? Like, I read the Substack post and it like kind of encapsulated the feeling, but it's like, why can I so clearly like see that some random girl's from high school's new boyfriend that I literally don't know because she met him in college or she met him off Hinge? Like, we weren't meant to know all this about people. And then I think also just like dealing with just thoughts of like comparing myself to other people. And I don't think I realized that was going on, but it was, oh, I see this person doing this, or maybe I wasn't invited to that, but everybody else was, or this was going on, and it was affecting me. I don't think I would have identified that before I took the break, that it was affecting me, but it was. And I think partially also like before, even when I would delete Instagram, that was always a thing going on. I've come to realize that having issues on social media, if you don't really deal with the issues, the feelings social media is bringing you to feel, you're always gonna feel those. Like, those issues are still there. Deleting social media is just gonna put a band-aid over it. And just kind of realize, like I said, recognizing that everyone's on their own path. I don't need to compare with anyone, because at the end of the day, I'm only really competing against myself and just trying to get what I want out of this life, and people are trying to get what they want. And I think also it was just like feeling like I needed to do these things because other people were doing it. If I don't want to do that, why am I trying to feel like I need to do that because that's the thing everyone's doing? It's like, I can just do whatever I want to do. I recently re-logged back into Instagram. I feel like I also just had like that typical Gen Z anxiety of like feeling weird when you post. And I think part of it's like, once like you have all these people from in your life who don't talk to, people who were once in a life, they knew a version of you back in high school and middle school, whatever, but it's like you feel like, oh my gosh, this person's gonna judge me, because it's like you don't know them anymore. So when I re-logged back into Instagram, I reactivated, I literally deleted like 200 people. Like, I remember I was like going through, it was like, oh wow, this person has a new boyfriend, especially being off of like Instagram. I, you know, obviously didn't see all these posts like, oh, you have a new boyfriend? Oh, you and your boyfriend? Like, literally some girl from middle school, like her and her boyfriend went to Mount Beach. I was like, oh, that's so cute. Unfollow. Like, she's like, I don't need to see your life anymore. And I know some people say it's like not that deep, but if it's not that deep, it's like, it's not that deep for me to unfollow too, right? I feel like it's nice, obviously a good way to kind of keep in touch, but it's like, if we have no intention of talking anymore, why are you following me? Or like, why are you watching literally all my stories, but you literally never like any of my posts, or you don't interact with anything? It's just weird. Yeah, that's how I feel about Instagram. Instagram is like, if you have issues with it and it's like making you feel negative about yourself in some way, you probably need to work through those. Like, those aren't just going to go away when you delete Instagram. You're going to have to do a lot of journaling, maybe some therapy. I didn't do that, but journaling, stuff like that. On to TikTok. So I deleted TikTok. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my attention span is back. Once again, just random stuff that don't actually matter in the real world are not on my mind. This is not real. Dumb TikTok drama of like, oh my gosh. Like, yesterday I was watching this reaction video and this girl was doing reaction to people complaining about whether they fit into mid-size or not, or who's like technically a straight, and this is like about sizing of clothes. I was seeing like all the videos, like a quick compilation she flashed at the beginning of the video. I'm just like, this is such a chronically online problem. Like, who cares if you're technically considered mid-sized, or like, oh my gosh, I'm being kicked out of the mid-sized community. It's just like, this is so online. Like, I couldn't even finish the video because it's like, I don't actually care about none of this stuff. Like, it sounded interesting, but I don't actually care. I think being off TikTok, I don't care about all this stuff. I don't know. I feel like TikTok wasn't that bad, but I just feel like it is a time sink in a lot of ways. I think the thing about a lot of these apps, I thought I would feel like so bored and so like disconnected from the real world, but honestly don't. Like, you just find other things to do, you know, scroll through Reddit, watch YouTube, play games, not just be so caught up just scrolling for hours, like wasting your day on this app. Now I don't have TikTok downloaded on my phone, especially ever since like the whole like being deleted, and it's like, oh, thank you, Donald Trump. It was just like, That's a little too much for me. So I don't have it on my phone. I still log into TikTok on my computer. I don't watch FYP content. I mostly just have like 4 creators who don't really post on YouTube that much, who I like a lot. And so like every once in a while, I'll go and see if they posted on their TikTok. Like that's literally all I do. Like I just look for like 4 creators. So I feel like just being off that, my attention span is longer. I feel like I could also just like sit in places and not be so antsy. I can just like be patient. Like sometimes I find myself like on the train from work or going and I'm just sitting, like now I've been listening to music, sometimes just like sitting staring off in the distance with my thoughts, or sometimes even just being home. I'm like, yeah, I'm bored. And so I'll just stare at the ceiling. Like not for that long. Like eventually I figure out something to do, but I feel like I've just learned to sit with my thoughts. And maybe before I was just like scrolling because I just didn't want to sit with my thoughts. And now I can. And that is so beautiful. I love that for myself. So if you've been thinking about social media detox, I think you should. It was fun. I loved it. And I mean, even now, like I'm just like, I don't really want to go back into it like how I use it. Like I don't really use any of those apps that like I did before, which I'm thankful for. Kind of just use them more as a tool. Like TikTok, I'll use as a search engine. If I want to see a restaurant in DC, I'll be like, okay, restaurants in DC. Or like when I went on vacation, it was like, okay, things to do in Paris, things to do in London, tips for Disneyland Paris. It wasn't like, okay, I was just scrolling forever. Because they're good at that. Like the whole point of the app is to keep you there. I think also I just have more time for the things I've been like, oh yeah, I don't have the time to do this. Like, no girl, you spend 3 hours between Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. It's got to go. And like Reddit, I use Reddit a lot. And I think my Reddit usage has increased since I stopped using those apps. But it's like, it's not as much as those apps were, because it's like on Reddit, I mainly just scroll through things I'm interested in. Makeup Reddit or just random interests I have. Like I'll just scroll through on Reddit and it's like there's only but so many posts, there's only but so many comments for me to read. So eventually I get bored and I close the app and then I find something else to do in my life. That's the beauty of a social media break, and I think everybody should try it. Makeup's basically done. I really have not done my makeup in so long, which is just crazy. I feel like every once in a while when I don't do my makeup, I don't do my hair in so long, and I do, like my nails are done, my hair is done, my makeup's done, like everything's did. Like it's crazy. I just feel like hope is born anew. Like life actually feels good again. Who would think? But I guess that's just like wintertime blues for real, for real. Ooh, that kind of brings me into fitness too. So I've been in my fitness bag. Like I feel like for a bit, I was kind of like out of it, like with the winter blues. I was kind of just eating whatever. And I mean, also it was like, I'm not trying to necessarily be in a diet all the time. So it was like between the holidays, all those things, I took a break, and then the break just kind of extended. And I was still like mindful, but I wasn't like 100% like super regimented like I was when I first lost a lot of weight. And then like I just recently locked back in, and it's like I posted a new low weight, which is like, hey, we are moving. And I'm trying to be on that type timing going into the spring, or I guess we're in the spring, but like moving toward May, June. I'm trying to be looking real different from now to then. This is the hair. Makeup's done. Hopefully it doesn't look too crazy. I think it looks good. Yeah, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Maybe I'll convince my boyfriend to take me out to dinner tonight. I don't know what type of time he's on. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, no, we might go out for dinner. But yes, thank you for watching this video. I literally just chatted. If you enjoyed this, I have other videos where I can chat your ear off, and I also have vlogs and other random interesting videos that you can check out. So thank you. Bye.